Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Hi, Dr. Adu, doing well. How about you?
Great.
Thank you.
Good, good, good.
Good evening, Prof. How you doing?
Good,
Good.
thank you.
Good. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday, Prophet Doctor.
Happy Friday to you too.
Happy Friday to you too.
Happy
Hopefully,
Friday.
everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend, and Easter Monday.
We did.
Kindly put where you're joining us from in the chat, and then also if you are looking to recertify for any certifications, you can go ahead and put in the team live in the chat and take a screenshot of that, and you can use that for certificate renewal as well. So appreciate everybody's time. We are starting time now. But before we do, kindly give me a second. Alrighty, so we are good to go. Now, I know tonight's topic is a very interesting one. I know most people are very, eager to hear how to really break this barrier. But what you really have to do is not something outside your capabilities or something that you cannot do. You just need the right guidance and maybe probably how you are looking at stuff shift, in how you perceive things here. Because I would say to some extent, it's easier to earn 200K plus in the security space than to break into the 100, space, right? You might think, I mean, how is that possible? We will see. So if just like how in business, every entrepreneur or every business person will tell you it was easier making 10 million than making a million, right? And you might be like, I mean, how is that possible, right? Because by the time you get to a million, uh, something has become of you, or you would have gone through a certain processes that would have built you to really make that leap or make that jump, right? Or you can also get guidance even if you're halfway, not all the way there, and that guidance will also help you to, jumpstart and get all the way to where you want to get to. So tonight we are going to be looking at how to break the 200K barrier. Now, the tips that we are going to be discussing is not only for the 20K, 200K barrier, but if you are still trying to get into the security space and you go that route, it is really going to help in any position that you're going to be applying yourself to. And this even goes beyond cybersecurity as well, because to hit that 200K is more leadership, operational management space. So for any industry that you are in, if you use the same tips and principles and concepts, you will be able to be successful in that space, right? So now let's jump in, and you are all welcome. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Ledu. I'm going to be your sole pilot tonight, and I'm a former United States Army captain. I'm the CEO of Arithmics Inc., a cybersecurity consulting firm. We are also a QSA company, uh, and also the founder of Eretmis Academy, a cybersecurity institute based out of New York as well. And a former professor, University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC, and then also a member of the Forbes Technology Council. And you are welcome once again. Cyber Chat, we do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we encourage you to join us if this is the very first time you are joining us. We do this throughout the whole entire year. We are a very big community and very helpful community as well. Very family-like community. So if you want to grow as a security professional, we encourage you to partake and share in what we do on Friday nights. And we are partners, Arithmics Academy, we are partners with CompTIA. And what this means is that we have a 20% discount, and we push that to everybody who join Cyber Chat, or if you are part of the Eretmis family, if you want to sit for Security Plus, Security Analyst, any of the CompTIA certifications, you reach out to us. Mostly this is how it happens. We don't have a voucher, but we purchase it through the Arithmics account, right? So it's the 20% all goes to you, right? So you send you send an email to one of our reps, and then they'll give you the payment instructions. You give them the money minus the 20%, and then they purchase on your behalf and send you a voucher. So that is how that happens, right? Now, CompTIA is the only company that, only certification company that offers that discount. No other company, or ISACA and IIC Square and the rest, they don't have any such discounts going on, right? So for certification renewal, also what you can do is two ways. You can either resit for the exams, or you can apply what we call CPEs or CEUs, continuous educational points. And tonight, an hour of this program is 1 point for your CEU or CPE, depending on which certification you want to renew. So 2 hours will be 2 points, right? And if you go to our YouTube channel, all the previous sessions that we've posted, you can also take advantage of that and take screenshots of that, and you can use that to renew your certification, right? So with that, we have a WhatsApp group. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, if you are not already part of it, the link will be posted for you to be able to join. That way you don't miss any of our cyber chats and any of our other engagements in the security space. And our WhatsApp group, our YouTube channel, this is also being transmitted on our YouTube channel, and all cyber chats, all previous cyber chats are on our YouTube channel as well. And our Easter sale is still going on, 20% off all our courses. And for tonight, we are going to be looking at cyber news first. Very interesting topics for cyber news, and then we will look at our main topic for tonight, breaking the 200K barrier in the cybersecurity space. So we will start with cyber news. So who is in the news? Unfortunately, Pope passed away. I think it was Easter Sunday, or no, Monday, right? Pope passed away. And why is Pope in the news, in the cybersecurity news? Unfortunately, the person is not a good news, nor what is going on. So, for cyber criminals or attackers or hackers, this is really a very good opportunity for them. Every event, every live event, if there is a disaster, there is a death of a public figure, they just hop on there, right? And that is how they're able to also scam a lot of people. They're able to get a lot of people to click on different things, right? So we are going to go through some of the things they've posted online and others, and everybody is going to at least 2 or 3 people are going to give their take on this. So what has happened was that since Pope's death, there's been a spike in social engineering attacks by around the Pope, right? So if you Google Pope Francis, or you are trying to get any information about what is going on, when is the funeral, there are a lot of, bogus websites, I'll put it that way, that attackers are putting out there to be able to trick you into other sites or have you click on things to infect your system and all sort of things like that, right? So you might think, this is not such of a great news, and everybody is sober, trying to reflect on what is going on, and other people, they see this as an opportunity for them to make money, right? Which is really, that is why they are cyber criminals anyways. So now let's look at these pictures right here. So between picture on my left will be picture A, on my right will be B. Which of these do you think is fake? You can put it in the chat, or you can raise your picture. A. Okay, so A is this one, and B is that one. So A, okay, we have one vote for A. Anybody else?
Both of them are fake.
Okay,
Both of them are
vote.
fake.
Both.
No, Andy is being greedy. So you're supposed to choose one.
B.
Okay, so Andy is going for. Okay, so you can go for both, or you can go for one.
B is fake.
B.
B is fake.
B is fake. Okay.
B is fake.
Okay.
Yes, fake.
So now, when you say B is fake or A is fake, you give a reason. Why would you say A is fake, or why would you say B is fake?
I say B is fake because he's in a coffin, but he's not really buried yet, so he has to be ready for burial before we get into a coffin. So that's why it looks like a fake.
Okay.
Oh, because it said he doesn't want an expensive coffin, right? So
Oh, okay. That's a good point. Okay.
But he was laid in state in a coffin, though.
Yes, that is what I wanted to say.
He's laid in state in a coffin.
Doctor, I think A is fake because due to privacy reasons, a man of that caliber, it's almost impossible for them to put him on a breathing treatment, showing the world what is going on.
I disagree with that because I saw a live video of him on that at some point. So, yeah, so
Okay.
it can't be fake.
So
I also think it's fake because if you look at this thing, he's been buried with a red cassock, but in the second photograph, he's on white. And then also the coffin, he said he wanted to be buried in a simple coffin, but I'm seeing that the coffin is sophisticated.
Okay. So I think for our audience here, you'll easily be able to make this out, but you think the ordinary person with no idea about what cyber criminals are doing and the type of attacks they are trying to pull off, would they easily fall for this and click on this if they see it, on their YouTube feed or on TikTok or, they will easily click on this, right? And now let's see which one is fake and which one is not, right? So our next page is so both of them are fake. Now, both of them are AI generated, right? Now, for A, this is a fake image generated by AI. Initially, it was, generated around January, February, thereabout, and people were distributing this, and it has resurfaced on the passing of the Pope, right? And where did we get this? On different websites and social media posts, and people actually believe this, right? They actually do believe this, but this is AI generated sources checkpoint. Now, the one on the right, obviously, like everybody said, he wanted a simple coffin. And because we've seen him being laid in state, it's very easy to make this. This is also AI generated. Image was extracted from thousands of Instagram posts, and this was generated by AI also containing various links to fraudulent websites, right? So people will easily fall for this and click on it because most people are not even aware what attackers are doing and what type of, if they see this, they don't even have the slightest clue this can be generated by AI, right? But now you can literally, with pictures, and even for the videos, there are a couple of videos that we couldn't show, but there are a couple of videos that were also fake on TikTok, on different, sites. So if you see those videos, you should look at it just on the surface, and also you shouldn't take any action, right? Sometimes just clicking on it is all that they need. If you click on it, they might probably have like a payload on something, right? So we have to be cautious. Now, let's do a little bit of education here since we are looking at social engineering. Now, the form of attack attackers are using to really pull this off is what we call social engineering, right? And if you are not part of the Cyber Chat where we discuss social engineering, go look for it on our YouTube channel. Very interesting one. That is where we discussed. Just to see if maybe there are a couple of folks on here or a couple of people on here. So during that time, we discussed a guy in the 40s who sold the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower in France. He sold it to a businessman for, in today's currency, in today's money, it will probably be like almost either 1.5 million or almost $2.5 million. Yeah, he sold the Eiffel Tower. Right. That is social engineering at its finest. So you might think, then the businessman is stupid. How can a businessman with that amount of money in 1945, thereabouts, be that stupid to just part away with $1 million and change, right? And the funny part is the malicious actor who was pulling this off, he's called Victor. I want you to look up and find the remainder, like his surname. So Victor didn't only sell the Eiffel Tower, but he also collected bribe in doing that because this was a privileged transaction, and the only way he was going to allow the businessman buy it was if the businessman bribed him. That is how good this guy was, right? So for social engineering, it is not cybersecurity is not what has brought up social engineering. It's been there. We all have stories of where people are either calling you on the phone to tell you IRS, you owe IRS, or even your friend who used to be in high school with you said I should give you this, and it will end up being something else. Right? There is a whole lot of them. It doesn't necessarily have to be within the cyberspace, but social engineering, has been with us as human beings for a very long time. Right? Now, what are some of the things that make social, or some of the elements that make social engineering very believable and that enable this form of attacks to really be successful, right? Anybody, and this is like cybersecurity 101. What are some of the elements of social engineering that makes social engineering believable and also effective? There are about 6 or 7 of them.
Greed.
Say that again.
Greediness.
No, not greed is not part of it. Now look at it from the perspective of the
Okay.
attacker.
Okay.
Okay,
Right,
there's always the sense of urgency.
Yes, sense of urgency is one. So urgency is one. And you can also grab a clue from what we just saw. Pope passed away. This is public knowledge. Everybody knows about it. So it's very easy for me to use that to trick you into doing something.
Authorities.
An element of truth.
Yes. So there is some truth in there. It's believable, right? So we call that familiarity. That element is familiarity, right? And authority. Somebody said authority. Yes, authority is also one. Kindly go ahead.
There's a bait technique.
Bait?
Yes. They
and
bait
how would you
they bet you to do something, and when you follow through your stock.
But the baiting, they have to really use something for the baiting to be successful, and that is what we are looking for. Yes, they are going to bait you, but they cannot bait you in a vacuum, right? So for them, that is why we call it. One technique that they use is fishing, right? Fishing, you can't catch a fish without anything on the hook.
A hook.
You see what I mean? So you can put the hook in the water all you want, but no fish is coming for that until you put something they want on there, right? So now let's jump into the list. We have reciprocity. So we have commitment, consistency, social proof. So social proof, authority, and then we have a liking, security, urgency. Sense of urgency is also part of this. Right. So like Frank said, sense of urgency. Now, authority, if they call you and they said, or they send you an email and they said it's from IRS, right? Or they sent you an email and said you owe PayPal. Somebody used your account to do all that falls under authority, like a body that you are aware of, a company of some sort that you know. And then familiarity is what I think liking they put it. So for familiarity, we know what is going on. Oh, there was a snowstorm in Indiana, right? Everybody's in the news. And if you revisit the social engineering session that we did for Cyber Chat, the guy who was able to sell the Eiffel Tower, he used one: familiarity, authority, sense of urgency, because at that time, it was during the Second World War, and France, they didn't have that much money, so the country was torn between, pulling down the Eiffel Tower. That was for recreational purposes, or because the Eiffel Tower was deteriorating. So, are we going to spend money repairing this, or now we are in war, the country is hungry? Are we going to spend the money feeding us, taking care of us, or repair this huge, metal that we are not using for anything, right? So the country was divided. Now there was like a tug of war. People are pulling on this side, and then this, Victor saw this to be a very good opportunity, right? So that is a very interesting discussion that we did. Go look for that on our YouTube channel, and you really understand social engineering in depth. And you see that it started way before cybersecurity became cybersecurity, right? So these are some of the elements that makes social attack effective, right? So this is cybersecurity 101. And like for everybody who's been here with us the whole entire time, I'm big about basics and fundamentals because that is what is going to set you apart from everybody else. Now let's move into our second news. Now, who is in the news? The app that almost everybody on here, has on their phone. So WhatsApp, they have introduced a new chat privacy feature, and that is what we are going to discuss briefly and move on. So this feature is supposed to add another layer of privacy, right? So they have different, privacy systems in place, but this will add another layer. Now, the main goal for this privacy feature is for chats and groups. So if you're in a group or in a chat, you'll be able to regulate who and what everybody is doing in there. Now, we've had instances in Arithmics. I think the very first one that we've had is not really an incident, but some instances where, on WhatsApp, when you have a group, everybody is able to see everybody's number. I think that is something that they have to block, right? So only admin or folks who are the owners of the platform should be able to see everybody's number. But everybody is able to see everybody's number. And for example, like we are all here to learn. So we put the chat, the group link on there. Somebody joins, you don't know the intentions of that person, right? So or sometimes it's not even the intention of the actual people on the group, but if one person from that group is compromised and the attackers are able to take over his or her WhatsApp, then they also have access to the WhatsApp group. So now they start targeting people on the WhatsApp group, right? So we've had instances where you'll be there and somebody is going to call you or say, hey, Eretmis is having cyber chat tonight, so we are sending you a pin. Tell us the pin. And you have Eretmis number, you have our email, you are part of the group. So you can ask in there, hey, is Eretmis calling anybody for, right? But mostly people won't do that. They will play along and give them the pin, which allows the attacker to take over their WhatsApp. After the fact is when they will come back and reach out and say, hey, were you guys giving out any pin? Right. And to prevent this, the simple way is to put in place multi-factor authentication on your WhatsApp. And we've posted that on our platform several times. So when you put that in there, it allows you to create a pin, an extra pin. So even if somebody is trying to take over your WhatsApp and you're not paying attention, once you give them the code that is going to be sent to you by WhatsApp, still they will need your pin. So now they have to ask you for the pin, and that will at least raise a red flag and let you know, hey, these people are trying to take over my WhatsApp, right? So we've had a couple of those instances. There was even like a time where I think somebody part of the group sent me a direct message asking me if I could send money to his relative in I don't even remember the country, and he's going to pay me the next day. Like this trick, I don't even think like somebody in kindergarten is going to fall for that, right? So if you really want to send the money and you don't have it, then why don't you wait and send it the next morning if you're really going to have the money, right? So for little, like I'll call them script kiddies. Some of the people trying to pull this off, they are not even real attackers. They just want to try. So let's just be on the lookout. That way we are not falling for that. But this new feature, it only works if you've downloaded the latest version of WhatsApp, right? So if you're a group admin or you are in any group, you can take advantage of this and add that layer of security, right? So and what this will do is it blocks. So now WhatsApp don't allow you to take screenshots anymore of chats and stuff. Now this will even block auto downloading, exporting chats outside the WhatsApp platform, and some more other features, right? So which I think is a step in the right direction. So how do you really set this up? If you open any group that you are in, if you are the group admin, if you open the group, you will see it is way down here. So they have the encryption, disappearing messages, chat log, and then they'll have the advanced privacy, chat privacy on here. So you can turn this on, right? And this is layers of privacy. So end-to-end encryption, disappearing messages, view once, chat log, and then now they have the advanced chat privacy. So kudos to WhatsApp. They are doing good by us. And before we jump into our discussion tonight, we are still running our AI governance specialist course. So for anyone trying to or looking to specialize in, if you're a security professional already on the job, we encourage you to jump in front of this before you start chasing it when it has already passed, right? So the AI governance class, very interesting. You're not going to be doing coding or coding the AI tools yourself, but we are looking at how we govern it, how we are going to help organizations stay in compliance with AI regulations and frameworks, right? How we are going to calculate the risks, or how we are going to assess the risks in the use of AI, different AI tools that we are all using in organizations. And most organizations, we have a lot of students who are reaching back out and saying, hey, my company is now, they want us to do AI policies. They want us to do this, right? So stay ahead of the AI governance space before, now you are going to be chasing it from behind, right? All right. So our next start date is going to be put out very soon. Our current cohort will be finishing in the very near future, and then we are going to roll out the start date. But you can still register and wait for the new start date. And our cloud security, for our cloud security, folks in there will tell you, even some have done cloud security elsewhere. It's night and day between whatever they've done and what we are doing now. And it's vendor neutral. So we go from AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, right? And then we also look at the strategic part of cloud security, right? So you are not only going to be an implementer being able to do the job, but also if you're in a managerial director role, you should also be able to function. And then for everybody who is trying to break into cybersecurity, we can't encourage our cybersecurity entry-level course enough for you. This is where it all begins. And this course will take you from 0 to 100, 100 being where you are a full-blown cybersecurity professional. You'll be able to work effectively and have your peace of mind working, not, being part of the working heart attack group, right? And this course, first 2 months training, second 2 months, you are going to be actually doing. So you are learning and doing, right? And the doing part is what employers are looking for. You can learn all you want. If you've never done anything, you've never done it, right? So, and for folks looking to specialize in one of the, arguably the most lucrative part of, or niche, one of the lucrative niches in cybersecurity, is the payment security compliance. Now, this is for folks who are already in IT, or those who are already in cybersecurity. If you are totally new to cybersecurity, we encourage you to go with the entry-level course, and then later on you can, jump into the PCI course, right? So we are not just here to have you enroll in a course, but we want to, point you in the right direction, what is going to work best for you. So if you are totally new, a newbie, we don't encourage you to look into the PCI class. But if you're already in IT, or you have gone through a training, so you have some cybersecurity working knowledge, then you can jump into this. Right? All right. So with this, also, lastly, our GRC Internship and Workshop, we are starting the new cohort on the 24th of next month. Registration is still ongoing. You can take advantage of the 20%, and then you will be in. So this is where we actually work on real-world cybersecurity projects. We work on 10 major projects that cuts across GRC and beyond, right? So we work on governance projects, compliance projects, risk projects, and then we go beyond that, incident response, awareness training, and others. So if you've gone through some training elsewhere, you have a degree in cybersecurity, but you've not really worked on any projects. And working on projects, you can do labs, is good, but that is not enough, right? So if you're working with Kali Linux and doing some scans and others, that is not what you're going to be doing on the job. right? So unless, of course, maybe if you are doing, even for ethical hacking, you do more than just using Kali Linux, right? But for anybody on the blue side, if you want to work in the GRC space, if you want to work in, security analysis, all those areas, then you really have to work on some real projects like conducting risk assessment, conducting third-party risk assessment, conducting an audit, right? Those are the real projects, not just maybe doing scans, right? So, and that is what we are going to be doing in this program. So we encourage you to look into this if you've not actually worked on anything, because during interviews, employers want to know what you have done and what you can do, not just what you know and you can recite, right? And then also on the job, you are not going to have multiple choice on the job to choose from. It's going to be do this, do that, right? And sometimes, and most times, Google is not able to help you, right? You can Google all you want to go on YouTube. If you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do it. So for our Easter promotion, 20% is still ongoing. It ends on the 30th. So, and for the WhatsApp group, the link will be posted. Our YouTube channel also, kindly subscribe and also share to all friends and family who are interested in cybersecurity. Now let's get into tonight's topic. So for tonight's topic, how are you going to break the 200K barrier? Now, before we jump into breaking the 200K barrier, we all work in some type of environment where at least, or if you are not currently, you are working for yourself or whatever you are doing now, at least in your adult working life, you've worked under a boss before, right? And most of us, you know that if you're observant, you have some bosses. I mean, they come in different flavors. Some of them you really respect and admire because, one, because of their expertise, two, their leadership and managerial skills. Some also you look at them and you're like, I think I can do a better job than this guy, right? But they are still your boss. So for those people that you think or you were thinking, I think I can do a better job than them, what really went into that thought process? Or, why were you able to size them and say, I think I can do better than, I can do his work and do it well? Maybe two or three people. If you have your virtual hand up, I'll give you the floor. And this is going to lead into our discussion for tonight. So anyone, or you presently have a boss and you think, I can do this guy's job better than him. Oh, everybody's boss is,
I would say,
right. Yes, go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, I would say because you've been doing it and you understand from the beginning, you've been maybe going to the same meetings that he's been going, and so you can speak to it from the beginning to the end. So you were versed in that particular job. So that's why you think you can do same, because you've been doing it from the beginning, from the life cycle of the job. You've been doing every facet because your boss is probably giving you all the stuff to do as well. So you're doing his job anyway. So the only thing that your boss is probably doing is just meeting the CEO and just talking, and everything that your boss is probably using in this CEO, the metrics, you're the one that's doing the job and just giving them to him to be able to do. So all he's just doing, just sitting there and just going to meetings, and you're actually doing the job.
Okay. I think Michael had his hand up, but he lowered it. Michael, please go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Du. Yeah, I was going to mention there's definitely multiple ways you can go with this. A lot of people who are in managerial or higher up positions have good soft skills, but to the actual question you were going to ask, there's been many times where I would make recommendations for policies regarding fraud or anti-money laundering. And the people that I was giving the policies to, who were higher up above me, they didn't do the job. And so their response was, but why would you do it that way instead of this way? And I said, well, my way covers territory that your way does, plus a broader spectrum. And I guess just a perfect example would be account takeover, or rather elder financial abuse. And the way we were going in my brand new department after getting slapped with subpoenas was, as long as you know the older, or as long as the suspect knows the older person, that's elder abuse. And it's like, that's not true at all. If my grandfather's 90 years old, he would know very quickly if I was using his credit card. It's like that you have to coerce, you have to bully or push. And so to the other person's point, you know the job, and then sometimes you can see what they do not see. You see a bigger picture that they may not be seeing or analyzing, or ability to analyze what it is. And then sometimes it's just intuition as well.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. And I'll piggyback on Michael's as we move along. So I think second, Michael, please go ahead. You've unmuted yourself. Okay, so if second Michael is not going, then we might just jump in. Now, anybody else thinking, hey, I'm the one doing all the job here, and my boss is just, taking it to the meetings and taking all the glory? Because guess what? It's your bosses, maybe if not your immediate boss, your boss's boss. They are in that family of making 200K plus. And I'm going to explain something to you why that is, right? So, like Michael rightly said, so you might for technical proficiency, it's not technical proficiency that will get you here necessarily. Mostly here, technical proficiency might not get you here. So if you just specialize in, yes, you should know your job, but if you are so bent on just digging and digging and showing your muscles, letting everybody know you are the one who can dig from there to there and digging, I think everybody understands that. So actually doing the job, right? So yes, you can do that and school your boss on it and let him know all the technical aspect of what you're doing. But really, when it comes to breaking the 200K barrier, it's not just the digging part that is going to get you there, right? Yeah, you should know how the digging works to a certain extent, but really, that is not the only thing that is going to get you there. Roland, please go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Du. I just want to chime in because I managed to be in a company, in a health company. And then what happened was that there's a lady that was brought into the company, and what I literally trained her. I trained her everything she needed to know. But eventually she became the boss over me, and she was earning all the big money. And I was wondering, I mean, what happened? How come I've been here for so long and I didn't end up? So maybe what you're going to show us will make meaning in terms of the ladder I might need to jump on to be able to be there, instead of me training other people and they going up on that level. Because it did baffle me. How come I know all the stuff and then they end up on the other high level, earning all the big money and also managing me?
All
Can I
right.
chime in on that?
Yes, kindly go ahead.
Okay, mine might be maybe not to defend it, but in all organizations, top officials need to have certain credentials, being educational certification, to put the organization at a pedestal when it's being looked at from the outside. So you, on the other hand, doing everything to sustain the organization. If you don't have what the credentials they're looking for that position, you will not get it, and it will not make the organization look good. So maybe that is what is not letting you get it. That's my thought.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution. Now, this is going to be the discussion points that we are going to be looking at tonight. Amari, kindly give me a second. When I go through this, I'll give you the floor. So we are going to be looking at mindset and visibility, and then we'll look at certifications, soft skills, targeting roles that pay 200K and up, how to package yourself, and the role of networking and mentorship, looking at job titles that frequently pay that amount of money and more. So, and contracting versus full-time, which one will get you there to 200K and more quick? Negotiating for 200K and up, right? So these are the discussion points. Amari, please go ahead.
Yes, I just want to contribute as well that sometimes the reason why you might have a manager above you, even though you might know the job, is that there are three things that I'm looking at. One might be that you have to understand the office and corporate politics. Two, I would say also having an understanding about governance and strategy. And the third thing wanted to mention is that escape my mind, but yes, you have to have good people skills. So those are the things that I'm looking at. Sometimes it's not about your technical skill. They want to know, one, are you good with people? Do you know how to relay information on a corporate level or on a leadership level? Because sometimes it's not about it's not about the technical part. It's one, do you know how to present? Is it your communication skill? Do you have the ability to break down complex the information on, I would say maybe like on a level where the CEO will be able to understand. So things like that will make someone be in a position that you say, hey, this person might not be qualified, but because they're able to break down complex ideas into simple terms, that will also make them elevate that person as well.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And you hit the nail on, right on the head. And you hit most of the key notes, right? So now let's jump in. So first, everything begins with mindset. So right now, if I tell you, if I ask you, is it possible to make $1 million in a day for continuously for 1 year, or even 100,000? Let's just make it 100,000 a day. Is it possible to make that money? If your question is like, if your answer is not possible, then that will be the end of, the story right there, right? If you, because that means you don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, you can't get what you don't believe, right? If you don't believe it, then, I mean, that ends there because your mindset has to be re-engineered. Now, if you believe it, your response should be how, right? Because there are actually people making 100K a month, a day, not even a month, a day, right? They have some information and they are not smarter than you. That is what most people don't get. They are not smarter than you. They are not any more intelligent than you. What they have that you don't have is information, right? Just like everybody here tonight, we are 100 and like 97 on the Zoom chat. We are almost like 30 on YouTube for now. Now, anybody else who is not part of this group tonight, it means they didn't get the information, or maybe they did, but they couldn't join. So if you were sharing money or were giving something out, it's only the people here who are going to get it. So always there's a selected few who might be privy to certain type of, or have the privilege of knowing certain information. It doesn't mean somebody who didn't show up tonight, you are any smarter than them or any more intelligent than them. It's just information that you had. They didn't get that information, right? So everything starts with a mindset. Now, if you think you can do it, you are right, you can do it. If you think you cannot do it, guess what? You are right, you cannot do it. So is it possible to make 200K plus? For me, 200 plus is even low, right? They've in several companies, we've had several students who go into different roles, and during the negotiation part, we will tell them, hey, this money they are trying to give you is low. You're like, no, I just want to, because it's maybe probably their first role, and their first time seeing that amount of money. So, they'll just settle for the 150, settle for the 130. But meanwhile, their job description is VP, Vice President, Director, Manager, and you're settling for 130 because you're in a hurry to grab that. Maybe probably you are moving from a 70K role to 130, 150. So you think, I mean, if I don't grab onto this, they might probably take it off the table. But guess what? They selected you among the 10 or whatever number of people they interviewed. And they they believe you'll be able to help their company move from point A to point B. Right. So now let's jump into mindset. What are we really referring to when it comes to mindset? So one thing that you have to know, and I think when we started talking about this, we kind of touched on it. So one, believing it's possible you can break the 200K barrier. If you don't believe, then don't even wait, because if you don't believe, that unbelief is going to affect all your steps and everything else that you're going to do. Because if you really don't believe in something you are doing, you don't give it your all, and it's not going to work out, right? Because if you really believe and you keep at it, it is going to work out. Now, believing you can do it is what starts everything, right? So if you believe you can do it, then also what you have to do is you make yourself visible to those who can hire you and pay you that amount of money, right? You don't get 200K by being in your comfort zone and just hiding somewhere, right? In your organization, if they are looking for, and everybody has experienced this within the organization, among your peers, you all know who is very hardworking and who is not hardworking, who is just BSing the whole time. Now, management will come and they want a manager from your peers. And guess who they are going to pick? The guy or the girl who is BSing the whole time. And everybody is there scratching their head like, how the heck is this going on? Guess what? Unknowingly to all of you who are busy working hard, that person, that guy or that girl has been making themselves very visible to management. Right? You can call that kissing behind whatever, call it whatever name. But really to hit the 200K plus, if you hear this and you don't even continue the whole entire program, that is fine. Hitting the 200 plus is all about knowing that one, there is a game going on. Two, knowing the type of game that is going on. Three, learning how to play the game, not hating the game. Learning how to play the game. And four, mastering the game and beating the game against its own rules. Right? That is why everybody has seen in the organization, we know this person, either they just choose not to do anything, or they are lazy and they are just, talking to this boss, talking to that boss, trying to establish that relationship with them. And we all hate on those people. I mean, this person, yes, of course, we are doing the hard work. He's not doing anything, or she's not doing anything. She's always in the boss's office or trying to. Don't hate that game, right? For you, if you are working hard and you are playing that game also as well, guess who's going to be the manager or the boss? Is you, not that person. Because one, that person is not working. They are just pretending to be working and BSing, but they know how to play the game well. Really well. Right. So don't be surprised if you were surprised in any situation whereby somebody was just picked and you were not picked and you were scratching your head like, but I'm technically proficient than all of these people. Well, here in this space, it's not just about technical proficiency. It's about knowing how to play the game. And what game am I talking about? At the end of the discussion, you are going to know the type of game. So high earners, they treat their career as a business, right? Treating your career as a business means what? What does a business do? They market, they advertise themselves, right? They invest in getting better, right? Because most people, they want to get the money, but they don't want to invest in themselves. Because right now, if I said, hey, there is a program on how to structure, present yourself, package you, and we are going to help package you and prep you for a 200K role, but the cost is $10,000. Everybody's just, oh, 10,000. But you want to get 200K. Right. And then for some people, their first question is going to be like, is it guaranteed? Now you are coming in without even not believing yourself, without asking, okay, what do I have to do? How am I going to how much am I going to learn? What should I do to prep myself? But people just want, okay, I'm going to give you this and I'm going to get that in return. Right. Because if you believe in yourself and you believe this is possible, investing in yourself wouldn't be an issue or a problem. Right. So companies, why do you think companies will spend money bringing trainers in, or sometimes they just bring in like motivational speakers in to come and talk to their staff, right? Paying them hundreds of thousands. You think but this talk is not really, because you are not looking at it from a business perspective, right? So, and visibility, you have to show, you have to be visible for them to see you. If I ask everybody on here, when was the last time you posted something about cybersecurity, about an incident in cybersecurity, and your take on it on LinkedIn or on any of these platforms? Not many of us will do that. But you are in a cybersecurity role, or you are in a different role in whichever field. You are the most hardworking person, the most technical proficient, but you don't have any say or any voice on any topic that comes up. This is not, political. It's not about Democrats, or it's about your field, right? Maybe there's an incident in the cyberspace, there's an attack. You can give your take on it. Oh, in my opinion, I think this could have been done this way, or if they would have done this, this is my opinion. What is everybody else's, right? And for you to hit the 200K, that is making yourself visible, right? Your discussions that you hold, because now as you are doing that consistency and you are showing leadership, because for you to be like, the mindset here is employers looking to hire somebody for 200K plus, they are looking for somebody who is a thought leader in that field, right? Not the most hardworking person in that field, a thought leader in that field, right? So by regularly posting and sharing your opinion on LinkedIn, attending conferences, speaking at conferences. Now, if you go online, put in cybersecurity conference speakers application, or cybersecurity speaking opportunities, there is a whole ton of cybersecurity conferences going on that you can apply to become a speaker at. Right now, this session, everybody who is not here is really missing out a lot. And everything that I'm saying, if you follow everything I'm telling you step by step, in the next 3 months, you have to come back and, give Dr. Edu 10K, because by that time you'll be earning more than 250K. Now, the mind shift, seeing yourself as a job, not seeing yourself as a job, but seeing yourself as a business. You are the product and you have to market you, right? Focusing on the overall tax. So what outcomes am I driving? Now here we are looking at strategy, outcomes. How are you able to save the company? By how much? By what percentage? So we are looking at the 200K plus, section. We are looking at the overall organizational goal. We are looking at the organization. Now 100K, I mean, for cybersecurity, you shouldn't take anything below 100K anyways. But for 150 and down, we are literally like looking at your technical proficiency, you as an individual. But really for 150 going to 200K plus, we are looking at how you were able to perceive organizational goal in relation to what you do what you do in security, right? So there is two different mindsets moving into these different, zones, right? So you have to think beyond your current employment or your employer. Look at how you'll be able to optimize yourself by making yourself more valuable in different spaces. Now, actionable things that you can do, at least write down the last 3 problems you solved, how you saved your company money, how you protected data, how you reduce risks, and then also set up Google alerts for roles that are 200K and up, right? And because if you're looking for 200K and up, but you are just looking for any job that will give you anything, then you are not going to get there at any point in time, right? So set alerts on the different platforms for jobs that are paying you that, the range is 200 and up, right? Now, also start posting at least once a week on different, not just, and also my take on here. Don't go the easy or the lazy man approach. Go on ChatGPT. ChatGPT, what is your take on the social engineering attack on the Pope's passing. You're just going to draft something and you copy and paste. No, that is not going to get you there, right? You can craft something, come up with something, and then polish it up on different maybe platforms, AI platform, to polish it up to make it more user friendly and reader friendly, right? Rather than just going there and copying and pasting. That is not going to cut it, because it has to embody, your post has to embody you and your views, your viewpoint in the security space, right? So with that, let's move on to how do you package yourself? How do you prepare yourself? So any questions on the mindset part of what we just discussed? All right, so let's move into how we are going to package ourselves for this opportunity. So how do you package yourself for a high level opportunity like 200K jobs and up? So you don't get picked for a 200K job. You position yourself to attract a 200K job, right? And hopefully that is clear to everybody. So you just don't get picked, but you have to. Anybody who gets picked for this, they've been positioning themselves. It's strategic, right? And this is not going to take you 10 years. It's not going to take you 5 years. How long it takes you depends on you, frankly. How long it takes depends on you. We have a couple of Arithmics students who are making 250 plus. Now, for I think for 2-3 of them is their second gig, right? Their second cybersecurity role. But I know for at least for one, it was their very first. But that one is around 200K, right? It's their very first. So how long it takes you depends on you. If it's going to take you 10 years to get there, depends on you. And what most people also don't get is that you can be a cybersecurity analyst making 130 and just stay there for the next 10 years. Nobody cares. You don't automatically get promoted. Just like the example that Roland was given. Somebody came into the company, you train the person, and the next you know, the person is your manager. And you're like, how did that happen? I mean, I've been here the longest. But unfortunately, in the corporate side, they don't promote you based on how long you've been there, right? They promote you on what they think you can do. And the key word here is what they think you can do. So maybe they are thinking wrong, but they are the ones who are paying the money. So even whether we think they are thinking wrong or right, they are thinking right because they have the money, right? So we have to, like, that is what I said from the beginning. Don't hate the game, learn the rules of the game and play it well. However they are thinking is not my problem. My problem should be to learn how they think and behave and let them know exactly how they think. Right. I make this example to, like a few folks that I talk in the Arithmics space, and like some of them will laugh. Right. Now, in my days in the military, when I became a junior, when I became an officer from enlisted to officer, I was a lieutenant from the company, the battalion that I went to. I was the youngest. When I got there, I was the youngest lieutenant there and the lowest ranking officer. Right. And for the lieutenants, we are about almost 21. And we are all rated against each other. Right. So somebody, our colonel is rating us. He's rating you 1, 2, 3. Somebody has to be number 21. So obviously you might think the guy who just came in, he's the lowest ranking. He's been here for how long? Not that long. Now, my first rating was in 9 months. And this was rating almost everybody. The colonel was rating almost everybody. Guess what my rating was? Like, he rated me 9 out of 21. And then he told me, Lieutenant Edu, I rated you 9 out of 21 because there are some seniors in front of you and you've not been here that long. Meaning he could have rated me higher. And why is that? It's not because I was the most hardworking, which I was, but just being hardworking is not going to get me there. I don't work with the battalion commander on a daily basis. So how would he know what I'm doing in my platoon? I had a platoon of I think it was 35 people, 40 people. How would he know what I'm doing with my platoon? How would the brigade commander know what I'm doing with my platoon? I don't work with them. I don't even see them, right? The meetings they go to is for the captains and the majors. I'm not even up to that level. But how would I be able to play the game for the battalion commander who is going to be my senior rater rating me to see what I've been doing? Because I was doing a great job. I wasn't BSing and just playing the game and trying to get myself there. I was actually doing both. Because I was just doing the hard work, making sure my platoon is sure everything is going on fine. But I wasn't playing the game. I would have been rated 21 out of 21. Now, guess what my next rating was when I think it was I was there for 15 months. My next rating, I was 1 out of 21. Yeah. And you might think, so let me give you some pointers. That is for just going through, you don't get picked for just get picked, but you have to position yourself. Now, I was doing the hard work, but guess what I was also doing? I was making sure my hard work was being seen by the right people at the right time. Right. So the route, as an officer, you have to stay in shape. The route that I was taking, I mean, regardless, I'll go for a run. But the route that I was taking to go for a run, guess who was also running on that route? All the senior leadership. And I picked that route for a reason. Because I'm playing the game. Hopefully everybody gets that point.
Yes,
So
yes, we do.
I'm going to run anyways. Why do I have to run the other way where nobody sees me? But all the senior leadership, and I know for my battalion commander, my brigade commander, they were one of their biggest pieces were physical fitness. So they really respected, officers who were physically fit. So I knew what they really valued, right? They were also very intellectual. I knew what they valued. So I made sure when it comes to those areas, I'm up to speed. So I'm going to run anyways. Why should I run the other way where nobody will see me whilst I can run on the same path that they are running every morning? And whether the whole entire battalion is not doing physical fitness in the morning, my battalion commander will still run on his own. Brigade commander will do the same. And guess who is also running? Lieutenant Tedu. Whether I want to run or not, I will run. Because all the hard work that I was doing in my company, yes, my company commander knew about it, but would the battalion commander know or hear about it? So I was positioning myself for them to, who is this lieutenant that every time I'm running on this route, he's also running. So at least he knows you by face. Now, when he gets to know your name, oh, okay, this guy, okay. Now he gives you some respect. He remembers you. So if he's rating all the lieutenants, and on top of that, he asks your company commander, what did this guy do? Oh, wow, this guy is also killing it at the company level. Okay. So everybody sees how I got, for just being there for 8 months, I was able to beat more than 10 people to get a spot. Right. So it's not just being the hardest working. You can be the hardest working and nobody sees you. And the people who matter, they are the ones who are going to pay you the money. So make sure they are seeing you. You are not just working hard in vain. So whether you are in cybersecurity now or not, whatever field you are in, you can take this and run with it. Right. And this is the reason why you all think, but John, he doesn't, like this guy will show up late and wouldn't even do anything. And they want a manager, they pick John. What are these people thinking? Guess what? John comes in late. But guess who don't know John comes in late? The people who are picking him. Guess who know John? Like who don't know that John is not doing anything when he's at work? Those people, right? Because another example from the military, I knew of a sergeant when I was, I wasn't even a sergeant by that time. And this sergeant, he could barely pass his physical fitness test. He was overweight. When I knew him, he was a staff sergeant. right? When I was leaving that station, I think he made sergeant first class before I left that station. So he got promoted. And to make sergeant first class is a big deal. Now, this guy, I was wondering, I mean, what is this guy doing that, all the top, like the sergeant majors and everybody, they all thought of this guy to be, top of the top. But we, even like the junior soldiers, we knew this sergeant was full of, this guy wasn't doing anything, right? He could even barely pass his PT testing. But I quickly realized this guy really knows how to play the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see that guy as the sergeant major of the army one day. You know why? He really knows how to play the game. And there are other sergeants who were very hardworking. Guess who didn't know they were very hardworking? Because they didn't position themselves well. All the hard work will just go down the drain. So it's not just hard work or being very technical proficient, but and I'm talking about if you're already in the company. Even if you're not in the company, you still can position yourself to get this, right? So your resume should focus on outcomes, not responsibilities, right? And most of the resumes you are using for the 100K, 120, 30, 50, they are mostly focused on responsibilities. Your LinkedIn presence should reflect leadership in that, field, not just keywords, but at least also position yourself, giving your take on different cybersecurity topics, your personal brand, right? So personal brand speaks to your specialty. So yes, you're a security professional, but which topics are you always and every time addressing, right? What if we are talking about maybe Roland? What should come to our head? First thing that should come to head when we talk about Roland, right? Oh, he's the third party, guy. He's the PCI lady. He's the right. So, yes, you should have a very solid foundation, but you should also pick an area of specialty, right? You can do all other things, but you at least this is like your area, right? Now, hiring managers and recruiters, they are looking for professionals who look like they belong in the room, right? And what room are we talking about? The different boardrooms, right? And we are going to discuss that here shortly. So the key word here is how do you look, or how are you going to position yourself to look like you belong in the room? That all depends on you, right? Nobody is going to say, oh yeah, Roland belongs to the room. You have to let them know, position yourself to let them know, okay, Roland belongs to the room, right? So, and some of the actionable things that you can do is what we are going to look at here. So for your resume should be impact driven, LinkedIn profile, you should be a thought leader within that field. So your LinkedIn should not necessarily, now for 200K and up, your LinkedIn should not necessarily be just the digital version of your resume, right? And personal branding, clarity and confidence in a niche of your choosing. Now, some of the actionable things that you can do, at least 3 bullet points on your resume. So the bullet points should show numbers, figures. Also for your LinkedIn, you can polish it up, get a professional headshot, not your picture that you take in the screen, like you are using your phone to take like a picture of, right? It should look professional. That goes in to explain you should look like you belong in the room. And looking like you belong in the room, if your picture on LinkedIn is really like your picture, just by looking at your picture on LinkedIn, your headshot, it can tell them you don't belong in the room or you belong in the room, right? Something as small and minute as this that you might not even put any, value on can make the difference, right? So the role of networking and mentorship. Now, as you are moving up 200K and up, there's a lot of good old boy club and good old girl club going on, right? So you have to network. You have to also get a mentor of some sort, right? So most of these 200K jobs, yes, they put some most of them on LinkedIn and other platforms, but the majority of it is not even posted. And that is the sad truth. Majority of it is not even posted. It's through referrals, right? Through referrals. I remember there was a consultant gig that I think this was like 4 years ago or 5 years ago that I was going in for. I was actually recommended by somebody in the company, right? So I talked to their VP and I showed them what I was going to do for them. It was like a consultant role. So I was going in to help them structure up their security setup. And during that conversation, I mean, he was very happy. So the plan and everything that I was going to set up for them. Now, the amount of money that was for that contract was, I think, I had some insight from my lead in the company. It was around 200, 250. But I went in there asking for, I think, like they were looking at 2 consultants or 3. Most of them were bargaining for like 150. Bargaining for, guess what I was shooting for? I was asking for 300, actually. And in their meetings, they were like, I mean, this guy, why is he? But guess how they were looking at me also? They were looking at me more favorably than the others. So the others, they think if they came in lower or cheap. And also, mind you, I wasn't just saying 300 in a vacuum. I had done my research. I knew what they could, afford, right? So it wasn't like the maximum they could was 100. And I was asking, in that case, they might think, this guy is just crazy, right? So now I ended up not even moving forward with it because I had some other engagements, so I really couldn't do it. So I think when they reach out again and 2, there was one guy there that I didn't like, frankly. So I could have still tagged it on, but I just didn't like. And that guy came out of nowhere. They just employed him. He was a CIO. I just couldn't get along with him, and I was like, you know what? And that time I had some other engagements, so I just had to go do it. Now, the CIO brought in a friend of his, who had interned for his previous company that he had. Now, they brought him that guy, and for the interviews and everything that they were good, he didn't even he didn't even allow the people who were supposed to interview this guy to interview him. He just literally just handed him the job. But guess what? The guy came and saw the magnitude of the work and was like, I don't think I'm built for this, and just packed his stuff and left. And now the company was stuck like, okay, so now who are we going to put in charge of this? Right. And the point that I'm trying to make here is networking is key. Right. So don't ask me, but Dr. Do, whom can I get? People on it will surprise you. People on this call can lead you to a 200K role. Yes, because there are some folks on here, 200 folks on here. They can lead you to a 200 role because everybody is working somewhere. So they can be the lead that is going to get you there. So don't get too comfortable just going into your own space and not, networking. And mostly for our interns who go through the internship program, the GRC workshop and internship program, I always encourage you, make sure your group, you don't just break it up. You still keep the group, you talk, you meet on regular basis, because there have been instances where one group member will recommend another group member for a role and they will get it, right? So, and then also mentors. So for everybody in the Arithmics family, you are very blessed. You have different mentors who are in the industry working in different roles. So at least you can fall back on them, especially for those in the GRC internship and workshop, right? And then also you have Dr. Edu backing you as well. So you can have other mentors, from other places and from other fields. That is also fine. But at least you need a mentor of some sort that you can always fall back on, right? Now, with that, we are going to, so what are some of the actionable, things that you can do? So build your circles around high-level peers right? So directors, VPs, and the rest. Now on LinkedIn, you can reach out to people with these titles, and but before you do, you have to look them up. Somebody's a VP, but they are probably making 100K, right? You want to make 200, so at least link up with those who are making that amount of money. Now you can reach out to them directly. Hey, and always go with this mindset. Don't just go asking for anything. They don't know you. They don't care. They have their life to lead. So then just go there. I can't tell you enough how many people reach out to me. Hey, Dr. Edu, John, here, there, I want you to do this for me. I'm thinking, like, what is this person thinking? Nothing doing it with my life. So you're just going to come around and tell me to do something for you just like that. No, it doesn't work that way. Right. But if you came in offering services, hey, Dr. Edu, I know you guys do this. What can I do to help? Or I can also offer and maybe do this for you guys for free. Right. Yeah, that is all part of the game. Right. You give before you ask for anything. But always people want to take without even asking. Right. So you reach out to people on LinkedIn, people in the role that you want to be in, so at least offer yourself. Hey, I mean, there is a whole different variety of things that you can do and ask to make yourself useful. Right. I remember there was one veterans business session that I was in, and this guy came in. I think he had some really big contract, and he came to talk about it and blah, blah, blah. Now, when we were done, I reached out to him, but guess what I was asking him? I didn't ask him about, hey, how did the contract, none of that. I didn't talk about business or anything. His beard, like that time, he had a really long beard, and I was just wondering, how did this guy get his beard to, grow that well? So I reached out and I'm like, hey, about your beard, what cream do you use? What shampoo do you? And this guy was just, taken aback. He was like, oh man, really? You see what I mean? So just to break the ice, now that started the conversation. And you end up being, best of friends, good friends, at least maybe LinkedIn buddies. And as you establish that relationship, if anything comes up or you offer, you let them know, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I can do to help you, this, if you need, right, make yourself useful. In the same way, they also, if anything comes up and they know you are the person, somebody who can do this, they will think about you also and, recommend you. Now, what certifications would you need to be able to get to 200K plus? Now, will certifications really do the trick? Or this is not really certification, something that we are looking at? But now, just like in the whole entire cybersecurity space, certifications, yes, they are good. They show your level of mastery. But now, people take shortcuts to write certifications and to get certifications. But I don't, I advise against that. Everybody on here, taking a certification, passing is good, but you should make sure you have the knowledge and skill to back it up. Right? It's not because you are smart. You're just going to memorize test questions and go sit and pass and just say, hey, I have this. And even for you yourself, when you say, hey, I have CISSP, you're not even unsure of what needs to be, like what you need to know in terms of knowledge and skill. But if you took your time and you really took 3 months, 4 months, just studied for it and passed, then kudos to you, right? You did a great job. Now, once you passed, don't just throw the book away or throw whatever resources you had. Go back and revise. So for certifications, in the security space, we have categories of certifications. We have the entry-level certifications, intermediate level certifications, and we have advanced level certifications, right? The advanced level certifications are your CISSPs, your SIM, your CISA, right, and others. Now, that doesn't mean also if you are starting in the security space, you cannot shoot for CISSP or go for CISA or SIM, right? But the catch to it is also this. Having CISSP, SIM, CISA, OSCP, or those certifications does not necessarily equate to you getting 200K plus. The certifications are good, right? It will give you some competitive edge, but really, that is just a little part of the puzzle, right? So the certification that you need, at least advanced, but also, mind you, anybody who's been around in the industry for a while, if you have Security Plus and you have CISSP, I know what it takes to get Security Plus. I know what it takes to get CISSP. But also on the flip side, did you know that when it comes to technical knowledge and skill, like when it comes to technical knowledge in cybersecurity, CISSP, Security Plus is more difficult than CISSP. Right. Most people, they didn't know that. So then I think Security Plus is, let me just shoot for CISSP. Now, CISSP, reason why it's an advanced or SIM, CISA, reason why they are advanced certifications is this. Their focus is not on the technical, specifically on the technical side of cybersecurity. Now, with that being said, there are like 40% of the questions will focus on the technical part of cybersecurity. But even with that, they are looking at it through the lens of leadership managerial, right? It depends on which certification we are talking about. If you are talking about CISSP, it's more leadership, operational, managerial. CISA is more auditing, and some managerial there, and then the technical cybersecurity part of it. SIM, more management, operational, and then a little bit of the cybersecurity technical part of it, right? So anybody who's taking any of these certifications, you understand and know what I'm talking about, right? So reason why this is advanced is that it is looking at your leadership, managerial, operational, and for these certifications, we are not looking at your technical proficiency as an individual or you as an individual. These certifications, the advanced one, they are looking at how you view risks to the organization, right? Not how you do your job as a security analyst, right? So it's two different levels of, or like two separate types of thinking. You are looking at the organizational goals, and for the lower level, like intermediates, or even for intermediates, you are looking at more a little management here and there. But for Security Plus, we are looking at what you know, what you can do. For the advanced ones, it's not just what you know and what you can do, is what you can do to help the organization, how you can, bundle the organizational goal and, in view of the technical cybersecurity stuff that is going on, right? So with that, we are going to move into, so for these certifications, we kind of talked about it. So CISSP, they validate your leadership, broad security knowledge, OSCP, if you want to go the red team side, and AWS and cloud certifications, cloud security certifications are also good because most companies are now moving into the cloud, right? Now, actionable steps that you can take. Certifications, they are not, they are good, but don't be a certificate chaser. So you are just chasing and compiling certifications. Spread them out, right? Work on them. Give yourself time. Make sure you are not going too fast ahead of yourself, right? But to shoot for the 200K, you don't necessarily, it's not the certification that's going to get you there. It's part of the puzzle, right? So at least you can work on maybe CISA, SIM, CISSP is a bit tricky. So mostly people can easily pull off CISA and SIM, right? Because one, a little secret that I'm giving everybody, don't tell ISACA I said this, but for ISACA and ISE squared, when it comes to their exams, like the questions, ISE squared, who, pushes the CISSP, they are more skilled in certain tricky questions, right? ISACA, not so much. So I'll say it's a bit easier to pass CISA and SIM than CISSP, right? So if you want to shoot for ones that you can easily get, still to get yourself out there in the advance, I mean, you can shoot for CISA or CISSP, those ones, and not to also say they are easy, right? You have to put in the work. But compared to CISSP is tricky. I mean, for them, I think like that is one of the best things that they are good at. certain very tricky questions. So for that, you have to prep yourself and make sure you are on top of your game before you go there. So now, before we jump into some more interesting aspects, our Easter sales, 20% off all courses is still ongoing. And then for our AI governance specialist course, if you are looking to break into the AI space, working as an AI GRC analyst, GRC specialist, you can also look into joining this program. And for our cloud security, everybody is moving into the cloud now. So all our security professionals, we encourage you to join our cloud security class as well. And all these courses, they come with internship as well and job placement as well. And for folks looking to break into the cybersecurity space, our cybersecurity entry-level course is the right course for you. It comes with two months of training, 2 months of internship where you get to actually work on real-world security projects. And then we help with job placement also as well. And then for folks looking to specialize in one of the most lucrative niches, our PCI DSS payment security compliance program is one of the best programs out there, the PCI space, that you have to look at. And then for folks, you've done some RMF, you've done some GRC training, but you've not really worked on any projects such as conducting risk assessment on a company, setting a baseline for the company, conducting vulnerability assessment, conducting an audit on a company, then jump onto this program. It is really going to help you to polish up on your knowledge and skill. That way, when you go to interviews, at least you know what you're talking about. It's not something you just studied or memorized. It's something you've actually done. And also on the job, problems you are going to encounter is not going to come with multiple choice. You should have really worked on some of these projects to be able to work effectively. And for our WhatsApp group, the link will be posted. For our YouTube channel, kindly also subscribe. And we will move on to finish up our discussion. Now, for what soft skills are needed to be able to get us there, right? We are not asking what technical skills will get you there, because for technical skills, they will vary depending on the career path that you're on, right? Now, but soft skills cuts across different career, that you are going on the blue side or the red side. Now, mostly for these roles, for your executive, for your lead roles, the 200K roles, some red team roles can get you there, but mostly the blue team roles will get you there faster, right? Because on the red side, mostly is more technical. As you move up, you kind of branch into the blue side, right? Because you can be a pen tester and a very technical pen tester, and if you don't position yourself well, you can never be a CISO, right? It's the GRC folks and the blue team folks, the security analysts, and those folks who eventually, if they position themselves well, be able to get to VP, CISO, and the other roles, right? So just kindly take a note of that. Now, with that being said, what do you think are some of the soft skills that you are going to need for this? So on the soft skill side, you cannot just get to the 200K without not knowing how to lead, how to communicate, how to influence, right? Now, don't get scared about this. It doesn't mean everybody on here can do it. You just have to know how and where, right? So to lead, to communicate, to influence, why is that important? Because at 200K plus, you are not going to be by yourself in some cubicle minding your business. You are going to be leading people. You are going to be part of a team, right? So learning how to lead, for folks who are in our internship program, a GRC internship program, when they start off, they come in thinking, I'm just going to be technically proficient in how I do my job. Now, next, you are put in groups. And if you are lucky, you become a group lead and you have to now be chasing people around and babysit your own peers, right? And you're like scratching your head like, why did they put me in this? Now, for those folks, guess what? We are grooming them for the 200K plus rules. Because anywhere they find themselves, they will be able to function, right? Because if you are new to leadership, now you've been put in a leadership role. And in the leadership role, you'll be forced to communicate whether you want or not. And then also influence, you cannot lead if you don't know how to influence. So knowing how to influence, using the 5 powers of a leader, right? The 5 powers that the leader has to influence people. So we have referent, you have any leadership scholars in here, referent power, reward, cohesive, expertise, right? So there should be 5 of them. With those 5, and then your legitimate power as a leader. So if you're hanging on just to your legitimate power, then really you are losing your leadership battle. Because for anybody in a role, if you keep shouting, I'm the king, you are really not the king, right? Because everybody knows you are the king, and they are really doing their business, and they don't even mind you. So you have to remind them every time that you are the leader. It means you have lost your leadership, battle. So you have to go beyond just the legal status that you've been given, right? So I mean, I can go through leadership all day. Now let's move on. Can you brief executives clearly? Because that is what you're going to be doing, right? In 200K plus, you're going to be in executive meetings, and this is not something everybody on here cannot do. You can do it. You just have to have that confidence in yourself, because the people you are going to brief, they are not superhuman. They are human like you. They are not any smarter or less smarter than you. So, I mean, can you also manage a team? Can you manage budget? Can you manage stakeholders? So this is why it's not just your technical know-how. You can be very technically proficient, but not know how to manage a team, or even work in a team, or manage budgets, or manage stakeholders. And also, are you seen as a strategic partner? You are not just there to work and take paycheck. You're a partner of the company, right? So the goals, the ambitions of the company, everything the company is doing, you embody that, and you make sure the company is able to achieve that, right? Emotional intelligence, executive presence, communication, those are one of the big aspects of what you are going to be doing in this role. So what is the executive presence? We've talked about that, marketing yourself, branding yourself, right? It's all about how you position yourself. And if you wait, you can wait for 10 years, 20 years, nobody's going to position yourself for you but you, right? So if somebody positions themselves well and they get the role you are looking for, don't be hating. They just know the game and they play it well. Now, effective communication, we've discussed that influencing without authority, even if you are not in a legal leadership position, strategic thinking, that is also big. So your actionable plan, joining sessions like this, Cyber Chat, when we ask a question or we ask you to give your contribution, kindly do. For folks who are in our internship program, GRC Internship, you get to present your projects. And I always ask the groups, hey, you shouldn't be just the same group, mix it up, spice it up. So different people have different opportunities to present. And we've actually we had an instance where one of our interns, she was working and she got the second role, and her VP, right, we were doing a presentation and she was asking, hey, Dr. Edu, so this type of presentation, right, is it going to be us or is it going to be our managers who are doing it? I'm like, it's your managers, but we're having you do it here for practice. Now, the following week, her VP was like, hey, I'm going on vacation. So the pen testing that was done, you have to give a brief report to management. I'll be gone. This is the pen test report. Create your own report. And she came back in the internship meeting the following week, like, Dr. Edu, you wouldn't believe this. This guy just threw me under the bus. I should go present to management. And I'm like, yeah, but you should be able to, right? And she did it, and she did great. But if it wasn't the internship that gave her that platform to be able to do that and practice public speaking, and you went to your management meeting, although you are not the one making the 200K, but that was an opportunity for her to also exhibit what she can do. That way, if there is any role similar to what she's looking for, she'll be able to nail it, right? But if you went there and you did so bad, guess what? Everybody's also going to know about it. They'll start asking your boss, I mean, who really employed this lady, right? So when it comes to soft skills, play a key role here. There's soft skills play, I would say, about 70 to 80% of what is needed for the 200K role. Now, contracting or full-time, where are you likely to make 200K? So we have pros and cons. Now, for contracting, you are most likely to make 200K in contracting than full-time. Now, there are a lot of full-times out there also as well. And for the contracting, it depends if you're on the red side, doing incident response, compliance, consulting, coming up with, working within a niche like PCI, HIPAA, or cloud security. That will also easily get you there through the contracting side, right? But there's a trade-off. Depends on what we are looking at. Now we can look at some of the pros and cons. For the contracting side, you get paid higher, but mostly you get paid as a 1099. So there are no benefits. You have to, do your own taxes and everything. And then also, for inconsistent gigs, mostly for contracting within this amount and this space, at least you get a year, more than 6 months of contracting. And if you position yourself well, you'll be able to renew. Now for full times, for the full-time gig, also 200K, yes, but between the two, contracting, most likely. But here also you are stable with more bonus, more structure, and then also, but your raise is not going to be as huge and there's a lot of internal office politics also as well. Right now, some of the actionable things that you can do, still the same thing, positioning yourself well, right? And probably we can have a session where we are focusing on how to position yourself well. This is just to give you like a whole range of things that you can do to really, hit the 200K to break that ceiling. Now, negotiating tips when you are already making 6 figures. So, and now to everybody, you don't have to start with 6 figures to start with 100K. Like I said in the beginning, before you can move to 200K. Most of you've been in different corporate environments, you've worked in corporate settings. So you don't necessarily have to wait to make 100K before you move in. You can directly move from 0 to 200K. And it's possible. We've been there. We've done that with more than, I think, 4 or 5 people, right? Now, if everybody else, there's a whole list of the 100K, 120, 130, 150 folks, right? But the 200, positioning yourself well. So negotiating, one, make sure you are doing your own research, right? So you can use levels FYI or blind or glass gold. At least it can give you some raw figures, at least what the company is willing to pay, and that for that role. Because for some roles, like I'm telling you, we have students with VP roles who are making just 120, right? So do your research before you go ask for those amounts. And we are going to look at roles or job titles that offer the 200K plus, right? So, and then also make sure your numbers are good. Titles don't always match responsibilities, so make sure you're also clearing with making sure like the responsibilities and the titles, they match. Negotiate even when you are happy. So even if they are like, okay, our limit is 200K to 230, you can still push it, right? So don't say, okay, I have arrived, I got my 200, that is it. No, you can still push it. Right now, always negotiate, even if, like I said earlier, even if you are happy with it, still try to push it. Now, data backed range, so make sure you are doing your research. Total compensation, also, if you are going to be a full-time employee, you are looking at your total compensation as well. So if you just want the 200, after the 200, what are the other benefits that you're going to get out of that, right? Now, actionable plan, practice, right? Actually, practice going through, hey, how much do you think, or how much are you looking at? What is your range? Practice that. And some of the previous chats that we've had, we've gone through the different types of ways to do the negotiation, right? So you can do role playing, negotiating with your peers, trying to, right? Because sometimes it gets uncomfortable talking about money, right? So if you think, they're asking you, what is your range? And just looking at them and saying, and that is why we started with mindset 200, 220. And even for you, you are like, what? Right. But if you really believe, hey, I'm worth that amount, I can do this, then you are not going to doubt yourself, because if you doubt yourself, it's even going to show you in your approach and how you are going to even say, this is what I'm looking for. Right. So believing in yourself is the very first thing. So the job title, the scope, make sure it aligns with what is on there. So job titles that frequently pay over 200K. And before we continue, what do you think are some of these job titles that pay over 200K? Any suggestions?
Say so.
Yes, obviously. CISO will make 200 and more.
Senior security architect.
Okay, senior QSA, yes. Senior QSA.
Maybe senior architecture role, something like that.
Yes, the architect roles, especially the senior ones. Yes.
Senior Chief Technology Officer.
Yes. So mostly everybody in the C-suite, unless of course maybe the company is not that huge, but everybody in the C-suite should be making more than 200K. Anybody else? So let's look at now this is by no means the whole entire list. So any role with director, VP, lead, senior, right? Now, and also with that being said, the caveat to that is how, for whatever reason, some quarters in the cyberspace, they've kind of diluted the senior and the lead, because they'll say lead or senior and they're paying you 120, right? But mostly for senior role or VP, lead, managerial, most of those roles should be 200 and up, right? Now, director of security, principal security architect, but mostly for your architect roles, if it's not a junior, senior architect and the others will get you there. And then for the consulting roles also, like I said, for almost all these roles, they are junior levels as well. So make sure you're paying attention to that, right? So with that, we are going to look at where is the money. So where do you really find these companies or these roles that are paying this amount? So large tech companies, obviously Google, Apple, and the others. Fintech companies like Stripe, Capital One, Coinbase, and then for consulting firms like Deloitte and others, Booz Allen and others. Now there are a whole list of them and more, right? So don't say, okay, then this is limited to just these folks. Now there are some new companies that will also pay you, because for the company that I was going to do this consulting for, they were not that big. They've just started. It's one of the job verification companies. I think they were less than, maybe if I'm not mistaken, they were probably like 3 years or 4 years into it. But they had funding, right? So they had the money to spend. But even for them, if I was going to go forward with them, it wasn't anything below 250 to 300, right? So some of these are just to start a conversation. So this is not by any means all of it, right? Now, some of the actionable plans on these job sites. So like I said, most of the 200K, you see a lot of them online, but there's a whole lot more that is not online, right? So that goes back to the networking and the relationship. Make sure you are not, ignoring that part. Now, for the ones that are online, also make sure you are positioning yourself well. Because if you apply to that, now we've done sessions on resume and how to really set that up. But for 200K, you have to, step up your game when it comes to the resume and look at it from the perspective of achievements, what you've done, and so that will take a whole different, twist than just the normal ones that you are using to apply to every other job. Now, website like Levels, FYI, and others will help you to really dig more into these companies. And you can set alerts on Google and other platforms to alert you for head of, director, VP, principal, lead, right, in the cyber, roles. That way you get those alerts and you can easily apply to those jobs as well, right? And then also on your LinkedIn, if you want to be a lead or if you want to be in a leadership managerial role, you should also have that in your LinkedIn. Not to say I want to be a leadership or in a leadership or managerial, but your whole entire LinkedIn persona should speak to it, right? That is why we are talking about position yourself for that role, right? So search for job alerts on LinkedIn with salaries 80K and plus and job titles and others. Now, target roles that pay 250, 200K plus, right? So your CISO roles, your deputy CISO, your CIO, your CSO, right? And then mostly your program managers. So PCI program manager, director of PCI, and I'm speaking to PCI because I do a lot of PCI. Now, GRC, senior GRC analyst, GRC director. Now, there's a whole lot of them, right? So target those roles. For 200K, for any role, nobody is going to come and knock on your door and bring it to you. So if you think the money is good, but you don't want to do the work, then I don't think you want that job in the first place. So you have to target and then know. I mean, this session will help you to know, okay, these are some of the roles that I have to be targeting. Now, also, like I said, even if you think you're a newbie in the cybersecurity space, you are not a newbie. You might not be a newbie in managing people or leading programs. That is what you should get. This is not to test your technical abilities. Yes, you should know cybersecurity, but what do you think a CISO is doing? He's not digging. He's the one who is looking at, standing behind and looking at how you guys are digging and giving the direction. We are digging from there to there and there, right? We have this amount of time, this amount of resources, and he's managing, right? To do that, it's not just, you don't have to just be technically proficient in cybersecurity. Yes, you should know cybersecurity to understand what is going on. So if, let's say you were the chief financial officer for a company and you are switching into cybersecurity, you think you cannot hold any position in there? Of course you can. You've played at that level before, right? So like the example that I always give, now who is overall in charge of the company? The CEO, right? So how would they bring a CEO from a non-cybersecurity company to come and run a cybersecurity company? And it works. A CEO from Ford to go and run Pepsi. Think about that. So you don't have to have worked in the industry for donkey years to be able to hold any of these positions, right? So if you think otherwise, you are just limiting yourself. So roles that can help you hit is what we've looked at: the director roles, the leadership, the manager roles. It will really help you to hit these. So search LinkedIn, level FYI for these roles, and then also connect with people with such titles. And make sure for those people, look them up before you try to talk to anybody, right? Look them up, make sure what are they about, and you can talk to those people, pick their brain, or even so like the example that I was giving, don't just go asking for stuff, right? If maybe there is a topic, maybe there's an incident, right? And you saw this person is the director of incident response in his company. You can just link them up. Hey, John, how are you doing? I saw there was this incident in blah, blah, blah. And, I would like to have your take on it. If you send that to me and it's within what I do, well, sure. So I think this should have been, that will just hit it off, right? Rather than just, hey, how do I get 200K role like yours? That I don't think anybody here will even do that in the first place, right? All right, so that will wrap up the last item that we are looking at: targeting roles that pay 200K plus, right? So any questions, any takes from our audience today? And we are about to wrap it up. And our Easter sales still going on. The AI class, we are looking to see you join. And then also the cloud security, all cloud all security professionals should know how to move in the cloud. And for our security professionals, for folks who are trying to break into the cybersecurity space, start with our entry-level course. And we are not just starting, but the entry-level course is going to get you to where you can start working in the cybersecurity space, right? And for our PCI DSS course, also for folks who are already in IT, already in cybersecurity, you can also look into joining this. And our GRC internship is starting on the 24th of next month. So we are looking to see you in there if you've not joined previously. Our WhatsApp group, the link has been posted. Our YouTube channel is also, we are transmitting live on YouTube as well. And now we are going to open the floor for questions, and we will be about to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody's time. Hopefully you gain something from this. For even if you are starting off, you're applying for entry-level roles, the same principles, if you use it, you're going to get way ahead of everybody else applying for entry-level roles. But like I said, don't limit yourself, right? You can jump from maybe not getting entry level straight into a 200 and something role. And I've seen it not once, but multiple times, right? Mike, please go ahead. Mike and him. So Mike and then Ucheba, and then we'll move on. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Du. So what you said about the mindset and the playing the game is very true. Just a while ago, one guy was just being funny on like Facebook, and he was talking about he got position in his job and people were wondering. So he was demonstrating to them that one little thing you can do, even how you walk around in the company, can get you to like higher positions. And he was demonstrating you have to look serious even when you're not doing anything. You're walking like you're really serious doing stuff. So playing the game is really true. And thank you for bringing that up for us to understand. So I just wanted to add to that. And it was funny how you said you played yours, so you were smart.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, don't hate the game. Learn the rules. Because whether you hate the game or you don't hate the game is still going on, right? Like I said, like what I always like told my junior officers who were coming up, as soon as you come, if I like you, I will let you in on some of, I'll let you know, hey, here, there's a game going on. If you don't know there's a game going on, you are screwed. If you know there's a game going on and you think they are playing soccer, but they are playing American football, you are screwed. So you have to school yourself on the type of game that is going on. Learn the rules. Don't hate the players. So if you hate somebody playing it really well, you can hate all you want. They are making the 200 and something K. See what I mean? You can complain and complain to your wife and your husband all day, every day. It's not going to change anything. So why don't you learn the rules and play accordingly? Right. So because if you learn the rules, then now the game becomes very interesting to you because you are a master of the game. And for me, I think one place that I really learned that quick was in the military. There's a lot of politics, especially on the officer side. Oh man, they're gonna eat you alive. They're gonna this is how bad it is. In Ranger School, if you go to Ranger School, right, one of the top leadership schools in the United States Army. Now in Ranger School, you are grouped into you are in squads, and each squad is at least 8 to 10. Now within that squad, you rate yourselves every month. You are going to rate yourselves. Now the squad, you do everything together. You sleep together, you do missions together, but you end up rating yourselves, right? And if you are rated, like if they rate, I mean, there's 8 of you or 10 of you, so somebody is going to be rated last. So if everybody rates you at least 7, 8, you end up being last. And the last 2 people, if they are rated last for 2 consecutive times, they get kicked out. They can be very technically proficient. They can be on top of their army stuff. They can be physically fit than everybody, but they're going to get booted out. They can't complete the leadership school. Why? Because the most important thing that they are teaching you there is not being physically fit or knowing your job, technically knowing your job, is to how to lead and to influence people. So within the group of 10, 8, you have to be, you have to know how to influence people within the group. That way, when they come to the rating, because they are rating 10 people, guess what comes to mind when they take their pen and they have to, rate somebody within they are rating everybody. But every single person, even if you are in the group, this is what you're going to do. As soon as they give you the list of people in your platoon that you are rating, the first people that will come to mind will be your friends. Whether your friends work, whether they don't work, whether they support the team or not. Okay, Frank is my friend, so Frank, I'll rate Frank 1. I really love Frank. Paul, I'll rate Paul 2. Now, after they've rated all their friends, it will be up to we are only 8 in a group, so really they'll have 2 or 3 best friends. So they rate 3 people. They are not rating themselves. So after they've rated the 3 people, now they'll start. That is where they start thinking, okay, who else in the team is who else? That is where they will remember you. Oh, Angela helped me to do this. Oh, Angela is seen very serious every time when we are doing this mission. Okay, I'll rate Angela number 4. And guess what you did? You played the game. Right? Just like what Michael was saying about that guy. Even when you're not doing anything, remain serious and pretend you are doing something. It's the game. Right? But I don't want to act or pretend. Okay, then I don't think you belong in that game. And if you're not playing the game, guess what? They are playing the game against you. So you can be the most technically proficient in the settings that I was given in the military setting, but then every time they are going to rate you last. And there are some people who are very on top of that game, playing that politics. So they are going, cutting, so they are putting themselves up there. And every time the people who get rated number 1 in the group will be the person who really does nothing. All he does is just sit there and talk to people, talk to that person, talk to that person, talk to that person. He's playing the game. But there you are, busy digging. Right? And you're like, yeah, I'm the one who cooked for everybody. Now, if you remember, for folks who are Christians on here, I think it was Martha and Mary, when Jesus visited them, what did Jesus tell when I think it was Martha who was complaining or Mary who was complaining that the other wasn't helping them cook, right? One was playing the game, one was busy digging. What did Jesus tell them? See, so your guess is good as mine. If you don't remember that story, kindly go look it up.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a powerful one.
Even Jesus told her, what you are doing is not the most important thing. It's not the cooking. But I'm the only one cooking and I'm serving all the. Okay, well, you are doing fine, but the one sitting here is the one who is playing the game, not you. So if we have a gift to give, we'll give to the one who is sitting by us, not you busy in the kitchen, right? So know the game and play it well.
He actually told him he has chosen the right thing.
Yes. So know the game and play it well. Don't hate the game. Whichever, please go ahead.
Thanks, Dr.
Please go ahead.
Yes. Dr. Dua, it's always a pleasure, being here, to add to my knowledge. Thanks for all you do. So, like what your submission today, I concur with everything because I see it daily in my environment. Yeah, you really know how to use office politics is critical. It's something you need to know how to play. But with that being said, my question is, do you think it's still advisable for someone that has zero knowledge about cybersecurity to apply for a position of like a CISO? The reason why I ask is sometimes when I listen to my CISO, I'll be like, oh, he has, he's grounded in cyber. He has very good knowledge of cybersecurity. And for someone that doesn't have any experience in that to apply for that position, because for me it's a mockery. That's just my own opinion, but I would like to get your own view on that.
Yeah, I mean, sure. So, and like I totally understand where you are coming with this. So, the goal here is not for you to simply just go apply for a CISO role, right? Now, frankly, for a CISO role, they get paid. I mean, on average, a CISO should be taking more than 300, right? So, but for some companies, CISO is not really CISO, right? It can be a director, but then because you are the only person there, you're going to be a CISO. Now, the goal here is not just for you to blindly go put yourself in a position that you cannot handle. Far from that. For you to be a CISO, for you to be in any of these leadership positions, you should, so being in cybersecurity, there are two things, or being able to hold that position and that role. So there is experience and there is accelerated experience, right? Hopefully everybody can follow the argument that I'm about to make. So somebody can be in the industry for 10 years. You can come in the industry for 3 years and know more than that person. Do you think that is possible or that is not possible? Now,
Very
all-rounded, yes, all-rounded, not just in one area, but all-rounded. Very possible. Why? Because the person that has been in for 3 years, they don't sleep. They are constantly learning. They are constantly on the go. Somebody has been in the industry for 10 years. The training or whatever school they went to that got them that position, that was the last training they've ever had. And the job they are doing, they are just doing one thing for the past 10 years. Right? So you and that person who is qualified to be a CISO, if there's a CISO role in that company. Right? Because as you are putting, like if you're putting yourself in the position of a CISO or a manager or a director, you should know your stuff. Don't just blindly go and put yourself in there, because if you don't know what they are doing, how are you going to manage them? Now, yes, you are going to be focused more on the management and everything, but you are managing what? You're managing something that you don't know? No, you are managing people. Yes, I get it. But what are the people doing that you are managing? You should understand. You shouldn't be an expert. You're not going to be an expert in everything that everybody is doing. It is not possible. But you should have a good working knowledge of what they are doing. Right. That way, if they present a report to you, for you to present to management, you understand what is going on in there. Even if there's something that, okay, what is this for this priest? They break it down. Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. Right. So this is not for you to blindly just apply to a role and you just took some GRC course somewhere for 2 months and you're like, I'm ready to be a CISO. Well, maybe for the managerial part or the operational part of being a CISO, yes, you can do, but really for the technical part of it, you really wouldn't be able to pull it off, right? Because for a CISO, you are looking at the overall risks of the company. You are the one managing it. So you are managing the GRC team. You are managing the third party team. If they are not under GRC, you are managing all the cybersecurity folks. You're also talking to the IT folks, right? So you should be able to understand what is going on, right? But sometimes not just being there for long qualifies you to be, like I said, you position yourself in there. Unlike in some, maybe in the even in the military, where if you are getting promoted by number of years, it is only going to take you so far, right? At a certain point, it's not the number of years anymore.
Wow.
So yes, at a certain point, it's not the number of years anymore. The number of years is only going to take you to like 4 or 5 years. That's it. Now, moving forward, you have to really put in the effort, right? So that is why you can have a soldier who is a private, right? You be the private sergeant. If you don't take care and you don't, improve yourself and rise up in rank, the next 6 years that you're going to see that private, he's going to be in charge of you. And I've seen this countless of times, right? And there you are scratching your head like, oh my, no. So even in the military and in the security agencies where we normally respect time in service, even that somebody can overtake you with knowledge and resilience, right? Just bypass you. So now they are going to be in charge of you. But meanwhile, you've been in that field for 15 years. They've been in that field for 6 years. But now they are the one running the show because they've built themselves, they've built their capacity. Right. So hopefully that helps out. Moisey, please go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Edo, thank you so much for everything you do over here. I got a quick question. How can you advise somebody who trying to have 2 jobs in cybersecurity and maintain those jobs based on your experience? Could you advise somebody to have 2 jobs, or do you think it's not good?
Okay, so my advice is for every job opportunity that you get, you should give it your 120% and more, right? So if you think you can do 2 jobs and give both jobs your 120%, then you can go for it, right? Now, it might probably take some time from you and your family and other things that you have to do. But, you have to consider, that is considered on individual basis. Now, there have been instances where some of our Arithmics students, they will get second jobs, and we will discuss and talk about it before they even go into it, right? So, for example, you have a remote job, and now the next job that you are going to get is hybrid. That you have to really, weigh the two, right? Or the other one that you're going to get is full-time. Now, even let's say both of them are remote, you have to also still weigh the two and kind of feel the second job and see. The first job, maybe you are a little bit comfortable, but this is the trick. Now, if there are some companies, they just hold meetings for meeting's sake. I don't know, maybe they love everybody, so they just want us to be on a meeting and look at everybody's face. So they hold meetings for nothing. So every day they have like 3 or 4 meetings. If you're in such a company and you also go get another job in another company that loves meetings more than your first company, then you are screwed. Right. So now this one is pulling you, that one is and the meetings are conflicting. You are going to be inefficient in both jobs, and you end up losing both. So you have to really look at it. Now, if in this company, they are very quiet, no meeting, project-based, they are serious, hey, you do your projects, mind your business, we meet once every Monday to check on everybody, or once a day, and the other group is just meeting and meeting and meeting for meeting's sake, you can combine the two, right? So it depends on, what you are looking for in your time and your abilities. Some people can handle stress, right? If this is pulling them, that is pulling them, they're just going to break down. If you're that type, don't chase the money and, put yourself in that, because you are getting the money to live better, right? So why get the money to go stress yourself and get, other issues, right? So you can do, I know some people are even doing 3, but, 3 we're pushing it. But like I said, frankly, if somebody is paying you that amount of money, it is up to you to make sure, if you look at this from religious perspective, integrity, non-religious, if somebody is paying you, you have to deliver more than they pay you. That is just, ethical. Deliver more than they pay you. So at least give you 120%, not just 100%, 120. If you can do that for both companies, then that's fine. If not, then you have to re-look at it and rethink. Because if you try to juggle too much, you might probably end up losing all. Charles, please go ahead.
Hello, Prof.
Go ahead, Olani.
Alani, okay. Thank you, Prof, for all you have been doing. What you have done for everybody so far. Please, how does it matter about your education background? Like, must you have a degree, like BA, like maybe what do you call it, degree, masters, all that? Would that help you for leadership role, or it
Okay.
doesn't matter?
So in the security space, to start or to work in the cybersecurity space, the minimum educational requirement is high school, right? Now, with that being said, if you want to move up leadership managerial role, you should have at least a degree. If you want to be very competitive, masters, right? A PhD will be an overkill because you don't want to also be overqualified, right? And not just overqualified, but you don't also want to look too intimidating, because you guess the person going to interview you or to try to give you the job, if all they have is a bachelor's and you are coming in with 2 masters and 1 PhD, come on, right? So you have to always how to manage that piece. But for what we are discussing, for the 200K to manage and lead, at least they will look at least if pass. So the least will be at least the least will be a degree, right? And then masters will make you more competitive, right? And if you have it in a leadership managerial area, like you have MBA, masters in management, masters in leadership, or even a degree, bachelor's degree in business administration, that makes you more competitive. Yes.
Must it be from here or from Africa?
A degree is a
Accepted,
degree. So
Degree
that
to
is where
degree.
people get it wrong.
Thank
A
you.
degree, if it is from an accredited university or college, is a degree. If it's from Africa, it's from Caribbeans, it doesn't matter. Because if you school in Africa, you can come to the United States and do your master's. So the school that is accepting you to do your master's, what are they doing? So your degree, and there are people in the United States who go to elsewhere in Africa to do masters in different studies there, right? So if the degree is from an accredited school, then that shouldn't be an issue.
Thank you.
Yes. Charles, please go ahead and we'll wrap up for tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask the question. So I know Eretmis has the Eretmis Academy and the Eretmis Inc. So I know you have many partners in the DOD and many companies. So there is a way you can start doing the virtual job fair. That way,
Yeah. Like that is a good point.
Yeah, we can start bringing company that way. We can talk to them directly.
Yes. Great point. We've been toying with that idea for a while, right? Now trying to pull it off, and one of the things that we're going to do for our in-person conference that we're going to do was one day was going to be job fair. We're going to bring different employers and different folks from the government and the corporate side, and then at least everybody coming in there who is looking for an opportunity can talk to these different companies also as well. But we are still toying with that idea. But thank you for bringing that up. That is in the pipeline. Some very near future that is going to come up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome, Charles. All right, everyone. I appreciate everybody's time. Now, for everyone who put in where they are joining us from, really appreciate everyone. Wish we could go through all of it. Joe, and we have, okay, so Derek was talking about mindset. Richard, we have, okay, and a lot of team lives in there. Thank you for the response. We appreciate everybody's time. We're wrapping up for tonight because we are way past our time. So next week is still going to be another exciting and edition of Cyber Chat, discussing another very interesting topic. Have a great and safe weekend. We are going to meet again next week, same time. And for our interns, we're meeting tomorrow, same times for the different groups. So I'll be looking forward to what you got for your presentations. Have a great and wonderful rest of the evening, everyone.
Dr. Du, I sent you a message. You get it?
I'll probably have to check.
Okay, because I wanted to catch up.
Okay.
Right quick.
Okay. So I'll look at it and give you some feedback.
Okay.